Hello, my name is Miroslav Koldus and I'm a product manager here in GoodData, and today I would like to introduce to you a new functionality that we are introducing to GoodData Cloud and GoodData CN. It's going to be about geospatial analysis. First, I would like to clarify what I mean by introducing new functionality. If you've been a GoodData customer for a while, you may have already noticed that we have had Pushpin geovisualization for a number of years. And also you may have noticed that we have been releasing some improvements about geospatial analysis in our experimental program. So now with this introduction of geospatial analysis, we are introducing a brand new functionality driven by a completely new visualization engine that will expand the previously existing Pushpin visualization to new visualization and computation options to make meaningful insights from your geospatial data. Let me dive right into the demo to show what is already being launched. So I have prepared a small dashboard that I think nicely summarizes what will be available with this release. So we have a couple of visualizations, and already now we probably see that we have more visualization options. So the first one is the perhaps already familiar Pushpin visualization, but even that has received some nice configuration and visualization updates. For example, you may have noticed that we will be using a slightly different rendering engine, so the annotations will point you to that fact. But also we have made some updates to the labels of the visualizations, where we don't only show the segmentation attributes, but we are also now showing the metrics that we are using for scaling or coloring, depending on how your visualization is configured. So the legend now actually includes all the information, and it is also moved as an overlay over the visualization so that you can minimize it and use more of the space for the actual visualization. We have done that mostly because the geovisualization tend to have a lot of dense information, and you probably will benefit from the fact that you can use the full scale of the widget size to fill it with the information and use that legend more as an interactive option that you can enable and disable when you need it. When we move towards the right, you will see a first extension on top of the already pre-existing visualization option, which is the Choropleth chart, or as we call it in GoodData, area chart. We will very soon look into how this looks in the analytical designer. So we will look into how it is structured from the data modeling perspective, but from the visualization perspective, it looks very similar, but instead of pushpins or points on the map, we are using areas, regional areas, and color code them depending on the value of the metrics, or also with the segmentation attributes, just like in case of pushpins. So very similar visualization, but can be used in different use cases, especially to compare the different regions. And we will talk a little bit about what shapes and regions we support in just a minute. Before we do that, I want to scroll a little bit down, because another major improvement to our geovisualizations is that we are now supporting multi-layered visualizations, specifically multi-layered geocharts, as you can see from this visualization, and we will spend a little bit of time talking about it. So first you will see that the legend is expanded. There are multiple layers. So one layer is city cells, the second is cells by country, and each has its own legend, right? Because each has a different configuration. You can definitely interact with it a little bit, making it smaller, the same argument that we have mentioned before, but you can also interact it with the widget by showing and hiding the different layers so that the information maybe stand out a little more depending on what you want to focus on at that particular moment. So this is something that should help to further reduce the amount of information that you may feel on putting on one dashboard, and condense that information into a single map while giving the user the exploration opportunity by interacting with each of the layers individually. Having said that, as it is part of a dashboard, we also support the standard interactivity options such as cross-filtering, drill downs, and stuff like that. So right now I have cross-filtered to United States, and as you can see, we from this table, the countries are now selected only United States, and also the other visualizations are now filtered accordingly. So I think this is probably the extent of what I wanted to demonstrate on the dashboard. Now let me switch to Analytical Designer, where we will talk a little bit about how each of the visualization works, and maybe some of the limitations that you may still see, and we will continue working on. So first, let's start with the area chart. So in the area chart, you will see that the configuration feels very similar, especially if you are already used to our Analytical Designer and if you are used to Pushpins. So there are buckets for the area. So the area is again the primary attribute that you are using. So that is the attribute that is referencing the geospatial information, and then you can extend that information. It's the only mandatory bucket that you need to do, just like in case of Pushpin in past, and you can use additional columns for color coding it, whether it is with a metric for color, or you can use attribute for segmentations. There is one less bucket here because obviously, unlike in Pushpin, the area can't be scaled, so there is no metric for scale because that just doesn't make sense for this visualization. But everything else should be fairly familiar to you. We also have couple of configuration options. You can decide what should be the initial zoom level of the map when the visualization is rendered. We also have some customization of the color coding, which will make even more sense when you, for example, this is not quite the color. Let's use country for the segmentation. Now we have multiple colors, so we can go back to coloring and change them. And there is also a possibility to hide the legend or even position it differently among the map. So some configuration options already for the area chart. If I switch to, let's say, the Pushpins, let me discard those changes. While this visualization is refreshed, it's using the new rendering engine, the data modeling and its configuration option should feel very similar to what you are used to from the old Pushpin informations, and including the data modeling, but also the configurations. So I will fast track through that, and I will talk a little bit about the multi-layered visualizations, because this is the one limitation I did want to point out. As the GeoCharts are released now, the Analytical Designer currently has limited support for multi-layered visualizations. You will see that we can render it correctly. You can interact with the layers just like you did on the dashboard, but there's a little bit of limitation that you can't edit the additional layers. To prepare those visualizations, you will have to switch to the GoodData S code, and you can extend the traditional concept of visualization with the new layer attribute where you can stack additional layers. And here you can be creative, but because as you will notice, each layer has its own type, so you can stack layers of the same type, so you can have multiple area charts stack on top of each other, or you can combine, so you can have layers and pushpins stack on top of each other. So hopefully this is all pretty exciting. And before we wrap up, I do want to mention one more thing, which actually relates back to modeling of the data. I will switch to the edit mode and go to my custom attributes. So in terms of preparing your logical data model, again, this will feel fairly similar because the way how you model information for your pushpin remains unchanged. So you need a kind of human readable primary label, and then you will create two additional labels, with one with latitude and one with longitude. So this is how you need to prepare your attribute for a pushpin. For area chart though, you need slightly different information. You also need a human readable primary label, but your secondary label is an area chart, which is a reference to the region that you want to visualize. At the moment, let's actually go into the details. There is some preloaded collections, so you don't need to prepare your own custom shapes for country and regions. GoodData comes preloaded with them, and you just need to make sure that the reference to the right countries and regions follow the traditional standards, follow the documentation for more details on how exactly to do that in your database. At the moment, we are not supporting custom shapes, but that functionality is coming very soon. We are already working on that, which brings me to the conclusion that everything that we are launching now is something that we are considering to be increment 1 of the geospatial analysis. More improvements for visualizations and for data modeling are coming very soon, so stay tuned, and we would be very happy if you give this a try and let us know how you like it through our community and through our Slack. So thank you very much and enjoy our new geospatial analysis functionality.